Among the days of the week, one stands unshaken, the seventh-day Sabbath. Unlike the preceding days marked by toil and routine, this day holds a special sanctity. It is the day when God rested, a divine pause following the glorious act of creation. No other day shares this unique distinction, and no argument can erase the historical truth that on this day, all of creation was declared complete. The rhythm of life, intertwined with the heartbeat of creation, finds its resonance on this blessed day. Exodus 28:11 beckons the faithful to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Here the proclamation is clear. For 6 days work consumes our time, while the seventh day is dedicated to the Lord. This verse connects the Sabbath directly to God's grand design, a memorial of creation that urges us to reflect and rejuvenate. It serves as a sacred reminder that even our Creator, resting after His majestic work, deemed this day worthy of blessing and sanctification. In this holy pause, we are invited to join in His rest, stepping away from the noise of life and into serene communion with the divine. The roots of the Sabbath trace back to the very creation of heaven and earth, as revealed in Genesis 2:2-3. On the seventh day, God finished His creative work and rested. In His rest lies not only a command, but an invitation to humanity to appreciate the beauty of creation and the necessity to pause. The sanctification of this day is a gift bestowed upon us, emphasizing its foundational importance. It is more than a day. It is a state of being, a time for restoration and reflection amidst a busy world. Ezekiel 20:12 expresses the Sabbath as a sign of God's sanctifying power, linking it inexorably to His role as Creator. The Sabbath is a covenant, an everlasting testament between God and His people. It is a reminder of our identity rooted in His creative authority. Every Sabbath is an opportunity to reaffirm our relationship with the divine, a sacred time to recognize that we are His creation, cherished and set apart. The call to keep the Sabbath holy resonates deeply, calling us to explore our connection with the world around us and the Creator who made it all. To embrace the Sabbath is to embrace the fullness of God's creative acts and the chance to renew our spirits. Through rest, we acknowledge not only the need for physical rejuvenation, but also the importance of spiritual intimacy with God. As we honor this day, let it serve as a loving reminder of our Creator's design, an anchor for our souls amidst the storms of life. The seventh day invites us to experience God's refreshing grace, turning every moment spent in rest into a profound testament of His love and power. Let's look at the biblical evidence of the Sabbath as a sign of the creatorship of God. Genesis 2:2-3. By the seventh day, God had finished the work He had been doing. So on the seventh day, He rested from all His work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it He rested from all the work of creating that He had done. This passage establishes the Sabbath at the very beginning of creation, highlighting its significance as a day of rest following God's creative work. Exodus 28:11. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. This commandment directly connects the Sabbath with God's creation, emphasizing that it is a memorial of His creative work. Exodus 31:16-17. Therefore the people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generations as a covenant forever. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel that in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day He rested and was refreshed. This verse reiterates that the Sabbath is a perpetual sign of God's creative power. The question can be asked, all these verses are in the Old Testament. What about the New Testament? Hebrews 4:4. For somewhere He has spoken about the seventh day in these words, on the seventh day God rested from all His works. So Hebrews 4:9-10, there remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from His. This passage links the concept of Sabbath rest to God's rest after creation, indicating its continued relevance for believers even in the New Testament. That God is a creator is a historical fact that will never be altered. Science has tried to dismiss the notion of creation through alternative, pseudoscientific explanations, but none of them proved convincing enough. As long as God is the Creator, the Sabbath shall forever stand as a memorial of God as a Creator. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey with Mount of Olives Ministries. Let's together illuminate the path for others as we spread the message of love and faith, one view, one like, and one share at a time. Together, we can make a difference.